A German electrician who admitted to torturing and castrating several men at their request on his kitchen table was sentenced yesterday to 8 years and 6 months in prison. Horst B, a 67-year-old man whose surname was not revealed due to German privacy laws, was convicted of aggravated, dangerous and simple assault for removing the testicles of several men, one of whom died. The defendant had admitted during the trial to offering castrations on sadomasochistic websites and said several men paid him money for torturing them and removing their testicles, the reported. During the trial, the man had told the Second Regional Court of Munich that he performed the operations on his kitchen table in Marktschwaben, and lied to his patients about being a medical professional. The defendant castrated or partially amputated the genitals of 8 men between July 2018 and March 2020. But he denied responsibility for the death of one man, who died several days after the defendant performed a procedure on him. The dead man's body was found in a box by police 3 weeks later, which led them to uncover the rest of Horst's crimes. Cops searched his home and found electric shock devices with genital area and anus written on them. The victims had distinct motives for assenting to being castrated. One reportedly wanted to be a eunuch, another said he wanted to live as a woman, and a third wanted to tame his porn addiction. The fact they all apparently agreed to be castrated by the defendant was a key factor in the brevity of his sentence. Horst claimed he initially offered sexual services on sadomasochistic websites in order to earn money to pay off debts incurred from the end-of-life care and funeral for his late wife. It was reportedly a work colleague who had told him that some men paid a lot of money for sadomasochistic practices. Horst started out offering electric shocks online, but later expanded his repertoire, deciding to offer torturous operations at his house for willing victims. The court heard how the defendant told his victims that he was a trained medical professional who was able to perform the operation safely. One of the men who underwent one of these horrific operations died days later from his injuries, but the man refused to take responsibility for his death. Prosecutors initially charged the defendant with murder for failing to call for help in the case of the man who died, but later dropped the charge in favor of the serious, aggravated and simple assault convictions. Pictures from the courtroom earlier in the trial showed the man, who held up a file in front of his face to protect his identity, being escorted into the Munich courtroom and led to his seat in handcuffs by police officers. Prosecutors had demanded 11 years in prison for aggravated and dangerous bodily injury, while the defendant's lawyers had asked the court to sentence him to no more than 7 years. The Munich Regional Court sentenced the man to 8 years and 6 months in prison yesterday.